This is the front door to my studio, the main entrance, and it's built on our back balcony. We live in a penthouse apartment on quite a busy road, as you can see and hear. This is the front balcony, and when you come to visit me in my studio, you step out through this door. I will show it to you. So this is the main entrance to our apartment, and when you come to my studio, you step out of this door. This is the front balcony connected to our main area, to the living room and kitchen. And when you come to the studio, you step out to the back balcony out of this door, and then you walk on this balcony corridor. Welcome to my studio. Welcome to a special studio tour episode. I'm Moran, and this is my channel where I share my CrochetObjet knitting journey. On the last few days, I document each and every corner in my studio before it's gone. So in a few days, we have to take this room down. We have it for 5 years. It's a light construction room built on our back balcony. And over the last 2 years, we've been struggling quite a few challenges trying to keep it, but eventually we came into the realization that the best solution for us will be to take it down and to move on. And so before the workers come and start to do the heartbreaking job, I took a camera and documented each and every corner in this lovely craft room, and I take you along with me. I hope you will enjoy it. So let me first show you the general layout of the room. So when you enter from this door, from the front door, you enter the room, and now you stand facing the north, facing these huge wall of windows. It's too bright to open the curtains now, so I leave them closed for just for the recording. It will be too hard for the camera. Under the windows, we have quite a few IKEA cabinets. So the entire wall covered with cabinets, very, very comfortable. A lot of place for storage. And here on this wall, we have 2 units. One unit is a working area, which is where I sit in the right side and Eyal sit on the left side. Nowadays he works mainly from the office, but during COVID and on days when he works from home, he sits here. And next to it we have small IKEA kitchen. And this is the door, which is like a private door where you can enter the apartment through our bedroom. So this is the main door, and this is a private door. And then on this wall, it's like the main wall of the studio, I guess, with all my cotton yarns and all kind of like accessories and display of all the beers and the bunnies, few different other patterns. I will go through everything later. And then in the middle of the room we have a big table where we sit and enjoy our knitting clubs, and here I also pack orders whenever I have cotton kits available in my Etsy shop. So I guess I share this table in the work quite a lot. So this is the general layout of my craft room. So when you enter the studio, on the right side I arrange this tool with a pile of all my colorful blankets, mainly crochet blankets and knitting blankets. All my blankets patterns are here, the stripes and colors, the kiss blanket, the love garden blanket, the starfish one, and the Four Seasons chevron, the bloom blanket with its edging, and the first one under the pile is the first ever granny square blanket I crocheted. I think it was actually the first thing I've ever crocheted in my CrochetObjet knitting journey. I still really love it, and I still really love the edging. I never wrote this edging pattern, but I do actually work on a project now where I go back to this edging to look at it and get inspired. This pile sits here, and usually it's pretty much an ongoing inspiration for my weekly knitters and crocheters. Most of them knitted, I think, and crocheted most of the blankets here, but there is always one of them need an idea for a baby blanket, so they will always come to this pile, open the blankets, and we will discuss the options. So it's mainly for inspiration. And only one of my blankets is missing here, the Over the Moon blanket, which is located in our living room. And right next to these colorful cotton blankets, I have two metal IKEA cabinets, and on top of it I have a sock book, Lazy Sunday Knitted Socks by Jane Burns, with a few poem books that I really love. And here I have the Sammy Fish pattern. These I made for a Jewish New Year. And then I have here next to it, I have all the flowers from the chamomile and sage pattern. So this is what I have on top of this cabinet. And then I have in the drawer, I keep all kind of like special yarns. I have a lot of Mayak yarns here that I got from them for when I was developing the chamomile and sage pattern for them. So it's mostly this kind of like, and here I have some swatches that I made. This is actually, I started to make another starfish blanket but never got back to it, so it sits here quite a while. Anyway, these cabinets are filled with those kind of like, here I have raffia that's still waiting for me. I do have an idea. This is just like an empty one. More swatches of things that I developed with the Mayak yarn, more of the Mayak wool. So this is pretty much more swatches, some coasters that I made for a workshop. Yeah, this is, I think, most of the mess that I made while developing the Shinjuku scarf with the Mayak yarns. And this granny square, I really, really love it. It's a really special one. I thought to create kind of like, I thought I had an idea for a bag when I worked on it. Anyways, kind of like a sketchbook. Next to these drawers, I have this basket, IKEA basket. And here I have my smitten blanket that one of the knitters just started to work on. So it sits here. This is the smitten border pattern in my Etsy and Ravelry stores. I have a Stefan West shawl here and another shawl, and this lovely tiny little bag I crocheted years, many moons ago. Yeah, and this is a scarf also. It's a free pattern, and then I shared everything about it on my blog. Sits here mainly for inspiration. I have, I think, 2 cushion fillers that my mom made for me, so they still wait for something to cover them. And this was pretty much everything on the east wall, except of this lighting that I had to purchase. I think during COVID I was invited to make a few workshops, mainly from groups in the United States, so I had to purchase some strong lights because of the time differences. But this was everything on the east wall. And now let's move on to the north wall. So here we have these cabinets, and on top of these cabinets I have a few different areas. On the right side I placed the umbrella, and here I have the winder, and it's really comfortable to have them, you know, open and reachable either for me or for one of the knitters. Here on the very right end of the cabinet I placed those cotton snowflakes. I really like the way they look on the butcher. It's a free pattern shared on my blog. And then you have the umbrella and a glass jar for yarn ends, for the shortest yarn ends, and a pair of scissors. And this is a plate with yarn that you can use for when you separate body and sleeves on sweater knitting. And here I have these 2 lovely baskets. I don't remember the name of the brand, but I think I have them linked on my Amazon storefront if you are interested. I have a few in my wardrobe, and I have them also here in my studio. One of them is for almost all of my silk mohair yarn, and here now I have here a few Lanagato camel and a few knitting for olive merino, black color. Right next to it lives the winder, and you have a weight that you can weigh your yarn when you finish to wind it. And next I have a little indoor garden. So most of them, or you know what, all of those were gifted to me. So the big Montessera plant was gifted to me by one of the Mendes lovely knitters on Monday. I really love it. I love this, you know, indoor garden. And they're very happy to have facing the north light. And this one I got also from one of the Mendes ladies, and you know what? It was pretty much, I think, this size or maybe bigger. Only one was when I just received it from her. It was only one stick like that, and look at it now. It is so happy here. And these two I got from a very good friend of mine. And let's see who is hiding here. Hello, Chunky Benji. How are you? Hello. So this Chunky Benji is made out of alpaca yarn and silk mohair held together, and he has no legs because he lives on a shelf on this cabinet, and he lives right next to the plants, and he really like to hide here, and he looks and to look around and watch the studio. So he hides here. And this is kind of like arrangement of different squares that I made. A few of them are shared as patterns, a few of them are just like, you know, sketches. These ones I made them quite a few years ago using my cotton. I thought I want to make a pouch out of them. I still want to make a pouch out of them. This one is another cotton. I don't know. I still like it. And this is the Wild Daisy square made out of mayak fibers, yarns, and this is a pattern shared, also shared on Etsy and Ravelry. And this is, I think, from the same yarn, but this is a knitted square. Really love it. Maybe I will make something with it one day in the future. What do I have here? Yeah, and this was one of the first soft rose squares that I knitted. I now make a full blanket out of this idea of a square with puffy corners, puff stitch in the corners. These I made last year during our, you know, family vacation in Austria. I made them and I shared them on Granny Square Day. I think it was on Granny Square Day on Lake Annecy in the Tyrol area. And these were shared also on last year's Granny Square Day. And this square is made out of wool and raffia, and it is part of the Millie bag pattern that I have available on both Etsy and Ravelry stores. And this is just a happy pile of a few different swatches, knitted and crochet. I usually like to put, you know, a note of what is this swatch and what needle it was made with. This is a swatch that I made on one of my first video tutorials here on YouTube. These are lovely lavender flowers that I crocheted out of my cotton many years ago. Many years ago. They are so beautiful. Yeah, this is, yeah. I don't remember if I followed the pattern or maybe I was just playing with my cotton yarns. I really don't remember, but I love these lavender flowers, cottony lavender flowers. I guess they can come out beautiful with wool as well, but I really love this pile, this textured pile. Really, this is a true happy place for me. And this is another fern leaf made out of sage color my cotton, and I think this is a sage leaf, yeah, part of the chamomile and sage pattern. So yeah, this is a pile of squares, random squares. And here I keep all my knitting and crochet tools. So all my needle cases, needle sets, and crochet sets, and all kind of accessories, stitch markers, measure tape, everything, all the tools, all the tools, needles, and hooks that are not in use in one of my project bags lives here. And this IKEA trolley usually move around the studio as we need it. I keep my cotton, all the colors here ready to be used, and here I hang my buco bag with a soft rose throw in it, and I have quite a few of, like, I don't know, yarn leftovers. And this is a bag full of like Angie Bunny extra clothing, shoes. It's part of an exhibition that I was part of, yeah. And these are the leftovers from Stripes and Colors blanket that I like to keep as a reference of what is left of the kit. More wool I keep here, and here are more, just a few of my project bags, and more wool. This box is a wool that I was gifted by one of the followers here. Swedish hand-dyed wool. And this is Bunny Bono, or Bono Bunny, pattern that I made for donation. It's a little bit later, I had lunch, and now we can continue. So here I keep some of my project bags, some with ongoing projects. Some of them are not in use at the moment, but they live here. And this is pretty much like very close to my working area, so these bits are for everyday use, like hand cream always next to me, scissors, and like tapestry needles. Here in this basket I keep some stickers, CrochetObjet knitting stickers that I use, and a kit, a lining, and leather straps kit for one of Petite Knits bags that I want to use. So this is it. This is a little bit of like a stationery area right next to my desk, and this is everything that lives on top of these cabinets. And the cabinets are empty, as you can see here. They are empty for quite some time, since we discovered we have a serious insulation problem. So we had to take everything, almost everything, out. We used to keep a lot of papers, bookkeeping, mainly bookkeeping here. In this cabinet I used to keep some of the cotton balls, cotton colors, but everything moved out of here because of this insulation and mold problem. And this round cushion is the My Rose cushion. It is a free pattern shared over on my blog. And down here I still keep some stuff down here. I have some cotton that I have left in stock at the moment, festive color citron and olive, and next to it I have this tiny little cushion that I made for Tomer when he was pretty small, a little toddler. Yeah, now he's 14, but he said it has pink, mommy. I don't want it on my bed. But it was one of the first things that I crocheted, 2 rounds granny square, and my mom, of course, she made the cover and the back sewing for me. Here I have another lovely box that I have just received from the generous people on the Mayak Fibers, from the Mayak Fibers team. Here I have some more cotton, and this is another, I think this is thin line. Yeah, I keep it here because I want to use it for something. And here I have a few crochet and knitting books, maybe some inspiration books. And here I keep a box full of like samples of everything, almost everything that I made, all my patterns and all my blankets and squares. So it's kind of like a sample library. So whenever one of the knitters want to work on something, you can see there are a lot of the Kiss blanket swatches here as well. But if someone wants to work on something and they want to have the swatch next to them for inspiration or to see how it works, I have many samples, so it's kind of like a sample library. Yeah, and I used to make quite a lot of these when I just started to crochet. So yeah, this is mainly like a library, kind of sample library, and it lives here on this shelf. So yeah, this is pretty much everything that we keep in the north wall, in these cabinets. I have some, office stuff in here underneath my working desk. But this is it. This is everything that we have in the north wall. Let's take a close look at my desk. I think we can start with a chair. It's the chair I had in my childhood bedroom in my parents' house, and I have it with me for years. It's a part of an antique series kind of furniture that my mom purchased, and my sister has something very similar. Anyways, I have mine with me for quite a few years, many years I think. And yeah, I have this cushion that I like to keep on the back. It's a crochet cushion that I crocheted years ago. It's a pattern, I think it's like a vintage pattern that was published in one of the vintage magazines. I am not sure how did I get this pattern, but I follow this vintage pattern and made it. I made some modifications, and yeah, and I have these fabric buttons on it, and one fell, I think, out of all the use, and the filler is the filling cushion that my mom sewed for me. So this is my chair, and basically I like to keep my desk quite empty. It's an obsession of mine. I need my desk like a clean canvas. And yeah, I just finished creating the full video tutorial for vanilla socks in Hebrew, so the tripod is still here, and I just added the socks that I knitted to my making journal. So this is the pair of socks that I knitted for this tutorial, and now it is all documented in my making journal. And usually my making journal lives here in this stationary kind of station, and I also keep here all the sizes of all the crochet hook sizes, just to get ready to go. And I have my computer, and the usual. On these shelves I have all kind of little bits and pieces. On the left side of my desk is the printer with a pile of socks. I think I have a few piles of socks here in the studio. I have a pile of socks almost everywhere. These are made as a gift and I still need to pass it or to send it abroad. And on these shelves I keep mainly, stuff that I collected during the years. I have these tiny little bells. I think they are praying bells that I got in Japan in the temple shops. I really love them. I love the sound and I like the way it looks. And yeah, this is me celebrating 1-year-old birthday, and this is like a monkey doll that I used to have when I was a child, and my mom, she repurchased it for me when we were traveling together to Paris. It was the birthday of the 50th birthday for this doll, so we repurchased it and I have it here since then. And this is baby Angie bunny with some miniatures, and this again another bunny, and this is a Japanese like hedgehog made out of wood. And yeah, this is something I was gifted by one of the knitters here. And yeah, this is pretty much what I have here. My parents on their wedding day, or no, not on their wedding day, it's just my parents, yeah. And here I have another picture of me and my mom. I think it's during Purim holiday, the Jewish holiday, when you wear customs, and everything that we both wear is handmade by her. Everything. Yeah. More notebooks. And these two are also from Kyoto. These tiny miniatures cats. Some more silk mohair, and this lovely dog that was part of the decoration of Maya's nursery when she was a newborn. In this notebook I have all the patterns that I wrote while I was developing the Angie Bunny collection. Angie Bunny, the Angie Bunnies and all the clothing, they are written here. So everything in this notebook was also part of an exhibition, of a textile exhibition here in Israel a few years ago. And this is another bunny that I got from one of the knitters when she came back from Copenhagen. Yeah, so this is everything I have on my side of the desk. And on this side we have Eyal's shelves with his books and with these lovely origami birds we got gifted in Japan, and a nice card of Liberty of London illustration. And yeah, I think this is pretty much everything I wanted to document in this side of our working area. On the left end of this wall we have a small kitchen unit. This is a small IKEA kitchen, and here I usually place some snacks and coffee and tea for the Mondays Club and the Knit Night Club, so they can enjoy some snacks. We have 3 quite big drawers on the right side, a door at the center of this unit, and smaller drawers on the left side. Let me take you and show you what I have inside the drawers and behind the door, but actually I started to empty it in preparations for the moving. Inside the first drawer, I used to keep, plates and things where I can, serve the snacks. I used to have a lot of candles, to put in this kettle warmer. So this is the first drawer. The second drawer is my famous green cotton drawers. So this is the situation now of the green drawer. Down here I keep my blocking kit and some packing and recycled packages and a little bit of filling for stuffing material for the animals. If someone work on a knitted or crocheted animal, so they can use it. Here I keep the trash can and some cleaning stuff and some more packing, organza bags, a little bit of cupboards and like background for photo shooting and cutting board. And this is where I put dishes after I wash the dishes. So I have this little tool that I really like. On the left side I keep, on the first drawer I keep glasses. Now it's almost empty. A little bit of fork and teaspoons. In the second drawer I keep some snacks, mostly nuts and some cookies, tea, cinnamon. And I think this one is also already almost empty, but I have more like project bags and fabric bags, and I think this is a strap that I used to have when I made CrochetObjet knitting drawstring bags with the CrochetObjet knitting logo. And here we have one more unit, the same string shelves units that we have here. We have one of them here in the kitchen for glasses and mugs, and I keep tea over there and sugar and the tea kettle. And this window facing the west, when it's time for sunset and during the time before the sunset, we enjoy golden hour sun rays. It's beautiful, the light that comes here from the west, from the sunset direction. And in this sink I like to soak socks and knitting and crochet projects before blocking. So this was the west wall, the working space, and the kitchen. And now we arrive to the main wall, the heart of the studio, I guess. And this wall is made out of a collection, like an eclectic wall made out of a few different units and furnitures that I collected over the years. The one on the right on top is a shelf unit that I built together with a carpenter, made especially for Maya when she was born, for her newborn room. And then the same guy made for me these boxes where my cotton colors live. And then there is another shelf unit and very beautiful like small house for my Angie Bunny pattern that one of my friends made especially for us, like custom made. And all the girls here, all the knitters and crocheters that wanted to have the same bunny house, he made it for us. And then the same guy, he made this beautiful table made out of old plates, old wooden plates, so a recycled kind of table with a top shelf and a bottom shelf. And most of my patterns live here, and this is the last wall that I want to document in my studio before it's gone. So here on top I have two pictures, one that I purchased from a lovely museum, open air museum in Shelbourne in Vermont, and this one was made for me by a friend. And this is the lovely Yvonne, my first bunny pattern, and this chicken was made for me by a quilter that just passed away about a year ago, a neighbor quilter here. And yeah, on the first shelf I have this chrysanthemum pattern, my chrysanthemum flower, and this is a sewing box I was gifted by my sister, and this is Benji the bear made out of cotton. This lovely guy, he sits here and he looks after the studio. And then I have, you know, buttons and stitch markers, and here I keep eye for the dolls, for the stuffies. And here I keep a few last notebooks that were left from the Angie Bunny notebook collection that I used to sell in my Etsy shop. I'm not sure I have any more of those, just the ones that I kept here. Yeah. And then on the shelf underneath I keep more sewing stuff, and this is a felt box that I made. I used to make these in the past, mainly for gifts. And here I keep like a collection of mostly Liberty fabrics, Liberty prints that I used to make these fabric buttons out of with the help of Eyal's father. Yeah, and stitch markers, and underneath on the bottom shelf I have a lot of like beads, boxes from the days that I used to make jewelries. I don't make any more of them, but I keep these boxes. Maybe I will pass them, but Maya come to work with them from time to time, so I still keep them. And some more, like, you know, bits and pieces, you know, these boxes and blocking kit and pom-pom makers. And here I have this basic sock pattern written in Hebrew. Baby Angie wearing its overall or jumper. This is a free pattern shared over on my blog. So this is this unit, and then next to it I have all these boxes with all the cotton colors, all the granny kit cotton colors. And these two units sit on top of the recycled wood table, and here I keep a basket with a few of Bunny Albert, one of my patterns, one of my bunny patterns, and a few different knitted hats and mittens just for inspiration for the knitters. Another bunny, but this one is purchased bunny, and yeah, part of my bunny's obsession. And here is Chunky Benji. Sit here. Both of them, they are brothers, and they wear Chunky Benji's sweaters, the cardigan and the raglan. And next to Chunky Benji, the Madeleine pink cushion, also one of my patterns. And this skinny purse with a lovely crocheted garden, and this hedgehog. This pattern is shared for free on my blog, and again sits here for inspiration mostly. And then Benji the bear, but this time made out of, this one made out of, I think, Lebanese wool and Gilead wool for the raglan sweater, for his sweater. And this one is made out of cotton, Benji the bear, and he has this lovely scrappy scarf. So Benji the bear and Chunky Benji, they live here, and here is next to them there's Angie Bunny made out of leftovers of sock wool, and they lay on top of this granny square, an old granny square that I was writing here for the girls, for the knitters, local knitters and crocheters. You know, more samples of granny squares, all sorts of granny squares. And this is the heart, three-dimensional heart, another pattern that I have in Etsy and Ravelry. These are like squares, samples for the knitters, for the crocheters here. More squares patterns, and here I made like a cross stitch on top of a crochet. And this is the linen clutch pattern, another pattern, one of my patterns. And this is a basic hat, knitted hat, also one of my patterns. And underneath I have a few books, a little bit of alpaca wool, local alpaca wool that I used to sell here in the studio, but this is what I have left. And in these two baskets I keep cotton colors that I kept here for the local knitters and crocheters, and also I use these baskets to when I was packing your orders, your Etsy orders. Here I have a project bag with a project like that is on hold, and this is another beard that I purchased, I think, in Conran shop in London. And this is my lila sock pattern. And yeah, on the floor underneath I keep a basket full of socks, hand knitted socks that I organized here mainly for inspiration. And from time to time I come here, take out a sock and wear it. And here I have some wool that I keep here. Some of it is for me, you know, as my own stash, but some of it will be used by the lovely weekly knitters and crocheters. And then we have this unit, shelf unit here on the left, and here I keep a few more of my patterns, and you will see that I have some more books here, crochet and knitting books. And these elephants are from my parents' apartment. And here on the shelf on the top I keep all my Angie Bunny collection. Unfortunately, it got really damaged here during the 5 years that it sits here in front of a huge window. A little bit of color fading, but a lot of I think damage out of the wet, out of the mud, or lack of insulation, the insulation problem that we have. I think when we move the stuff away, I will try to take one of them and maybe try to wash it. But all of these, or most of these, are my patterns that are available either in my Etsy and Ravelry shops, or as a free patterns over on my blog. So this is Angie Bunny family. And then I keep these hedgehog. I think this hedgehog I wrote only in Hebrew for my local makers, but you have this one is shared as a free pattern in my blog, and these leaves were part of a workshop that I made here. And this elephant is a pattern we made, I think, in the past following, I'm not sure which pattern and what is the name of this pattern, maybe Baby Elephant in Ravelry. It was years ago, but I made a lot of gifts out of this Baby Elephant pattern, and also I made one for each of my kids. I love them. I have one here and I have two of them here. So yeah, this is the top shelf, and here I keep some wool. This is mainly Aweta and Lana sock wool, and Icelandic wool, and some hand knitted skeins, more wool, and these are balls, winded balls. And here in this shelf first I have these hangers that I put those lovely wooden blockers, and now my lila sock pattern live here. Sorry, I think I have confused you. These are my keep shining socks here, and these are my lila socks. Yeah, so here the lila socks live. Now it's the lila socks, but this presentation can be, you know, changed from time to time. And behind it I keep a basket with my Stella quilt cushion project, everything that is for the Stella quilt cushion making. So a lot of yarn, winded and unwinded, all the relevant wool that I want to use for this project. Yeah, and these are 3 crochet cushions that I crocheted in the past, and my mom sewed the covers for me. And here lives my Shinjuku scarf, a pattern that I made in a collaboration with my yak fibers, and this is why I have so much wool, my yak wool, that they send me for this designing process. So the Shinjuku scarf lives here, and underneath I have these, I keep these crochet cushions. Most of them are patterns that I was writing in Hebrew for my local makers, for workshops that I used to make. Here I keep a lot of magazines, and these boxes I have for many years. Inside them I keep like tiny little swatches and samples of squares that I made and try to crochet, and flowers and bobbins with threads, and you know, maybe something that I started to develop. I have a lot of like clothes from the Angie Bunny designing process. They live here, and yeah, this is everything that I keep on this wooden shelf unit. I have these plants next to it and a few more. I think these are mostly, yeah, these are sock balls. Sock wool lives in this basket. And here I used to keep mostly the light colors from the Granny Kit Cotton collection. So I used to keep a lot of like lace, white lace, sand and cream, but now this is the situation of this basket. So yeah, this is the main wall of the studio, the heart of the studio. And I'm sure I forgot to mention so many things in here, too many things to go through, like this Angie bunny that I made to take with me to Vietnam. And here I have more crochet baskets that I made over the years with a beautiful, let me show you, with a beautiful skirt that I purchased in Sapa in the north of Vietnam, with all of this handmade embroidery. And I really loved the colors, and I really wanted to have it part of my, part of my life. It took quite a few days to document everything here, and I think this is pretty much everything that I wanted to document here in my rooftop studio before it's gone. Standing here behind the camera makes me think how I love the way the north light washes this wall. I could go into more and more details, and you might have questions and you want to know more about things and about details that you saw here. You can leave your questions in the comment section, and I will do my best to answer you in future episodes. I will leave you with more footage from the knit night and the Mondays and golden hours, and some bits from the studio garden. I will leave you with more of it at the end of this video, so if you want to stay and have more. But I think this is it for now, and this is time to say goodbye. So yeah, this is it. This was my studio tour. I'm very glad I made it, and I have it all documented now here on my YouTube channel. And yeah, I can now, after I finish this project, I can now start packing and move everything out before the workers come in to make the heartbreaking job. And yeah, luckily we still have some space in the same room where it used to be my knitting office before we had this rooftop studio. Much smaller, so not everything here will make it there, but let's leave something for future episodes. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one. Bye! I think it's too bright and sunny right now to take footage of the balcony garden, of the studio garden, but it smells amazing because of this special sage I have purchased a few years ago in a very lovely plant nursery in Jerusalem. It smells amazing and it blooms. And our aloe vera plant